Welcome to Headstart's Summer Enrichment Program for Mathematics. Before we begin, we should know how to round numbers correctly, solve basic problems involving percentages, convert between different units, and solve simple equations. If the number you are rounding is followed by 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, round the number up. If it is otherwise, round the number down. Under some systems, the digit 5 in this regard is treated differently. We shall discuss that later. Let's take the example of rounding 38 to the nearest 10. In this case, the digit that occupies the tens place is 3, so we shall be rounding 3. 3 is followed by 8, which is greater than 5, so we shall round the number up, and the number shall become 40. Let's take another example of 34. In this case, 3 is followed by 4, which is less than 5, so the number shall be rounded down to 30. Let's see how we treat the digit 5 differently in this regard. Let's take an example of 45 and 35. We can see that both digits 3 and 4 are followed by 5. And 5 is neither greater or smaller than 5. So we shall see what to do with it. In this case, we will consider the two digits 3 and 4 and see whether they are odd or even. In case they are odd, the number would be rounded up. And in case the number is even, it will stay the same, or in other words, we would round it down. So 45 would become 40 and 35 would become 40. Whenever we are asked to round a number, we should ask what are we rounding to. Numbers can be rounded to the nearest 10, 100, 1000 and so on. In the first example, we are rounding the number to the nearest 10. 2 lies in the tens position. 2 is followed by 7, and 7 is greater than 5. Therefore, the number 2 shall be rounded up to 3. And the final answer shall become 4830. We shall now round the same number to the nearest 100. In this case, 8 lies at the hundreds position. 8 is followed by 3, so 8 would be rounded down to 800. Our number becomes 4800. Pause the video and try rounding the number to the nearest 1000. 4827. 2 is rounded up since it is followed by 7, which is greater than 5. 8 is rounded down to 800 since it is followed by 3, which is less than 5. And 4 is rounded up to 5 since it is followed by 8, which is greater than 5. Fractions are rounded in exactly the same way as rounding whole numbers. In the first example, 7.8199 is rounded to the 10th place. 8 occupies the 10th place. 8 is followed by 1 and 1 is followed by 9. Therefore, 1 is rounded up to 2. In the next step, 8 is followed by 2 and thus 2 is dropped and 8 remains 8. The answer is 7.8. The next number is rounded to the nearest hundredth. 6 occupies the hundredth position in the number. 6 is followed by 2, which is less than 5. Thus 2 is dropped and the answer is 1.06. The next number needs to be rounded to the 1000th place. Try this. Pause the video. If you couldn't solve it, let me help you. 3.8792. 9 lies at the 1000th place. 9 is followed by 2, which is less than 5. So we shall only drop 2 and the number becomes 3.879. Let's do some more examples. 2.1988 needs to be rounded to first decimal place. 1 is at the first decimal place. 1 is followed by 9, which is obviously greater than 5, so we shall round 1 up to 2. The answer becomes 2.2 followed by zeros, and we shall drop the zeros. To practice your skill of rounding numbers, pause the video and try these. Pause the video now. We have achieved our first objective of rounding numbers correctly. Let's move on to solving basic problems involving percentages. 20% of 500. 20% can be written as 20 by 100 multiplied by 500. Cancelling out the zeros, we are left with 20 into 5. That becomes 100. Next, 10% of 1000. 10% can be written as 10 by 100 multiplied by 1000. Cancelling out the zeros, we are again left with 100. Next, we have to represent 2 by 5 as percentage. For a fraction to be represented as percentage, the denominator must be made equal to 100. In this case, we need to multiply 20 with it, and also with the numerator. The fraction then becomes 40 by 100, which is equal to 40%. Percent means out of every 100. That is why we try to make the denominator equal to 100. Pause the video and try to write 3 by 4 as percentage. Pause the video now. What if we are given a difficult fraction, something like 2 by 6? Write 2 by 6 as percentage. What should we multiply with the denominator to make it 100? It's difficult, right? We have to use a different method to solve this. We shall use a calculator. We put 2 by 6 in a calculator and we get 1 by 3, which is equal to 0.333. The bracket around 3 means that 3 is repeating itself. We shall only take the answer to 2 decimal places, that is 0.33. Now we shall employ a strategy that we have learned previously, how to convert a decimal into a fraction. We write 1 under the decimal and write as many zeros as many are numbers in the decimal. There are 2 numbers, so we write 2 zeros after 1. That gives us 33 by 100, which is 33%. Next, we have to find what percent do 15 minutes make in an hour. 15 minutes by 1 hour is equal to 15 minutes by 60 minutes. We get 1 by 4. 1 by 4 can be changed into percentage by a previous strategy. Multiplying 25 with the denominator and the numerator gives us 25 by 100, which is 25%. Pause the video now and solve the following questions. We have now achieved the second objective of our video. Let's move on to the next one. Let's convert between different units. Our first question is conversion of 2 gigabytes into bytes. Looking at the chart, we can find out that giga is equal to 10 raised to the power 9, which tells us that giga is just a number. 2 gigabytes needs to be converted to bytes. We put the value of giga into the expression, that is 10 to the power 9, and we write bytes as it is. Next, we expand 10 to the power 9. 10 to the power 9 means 1 followed by 9 zeros, and we write bytes as it is. We multiply 2 with 1 billion and we get 2 billion bytes. Let's convert 100 grams into kilograms. Grams should be written as G only, not GM. We can see that there is a kilo in the required form. Kilo is just a number. From the chart we can see that kilo is equal to 10 to the power 3. We multiply 100 grams with kilo and divide it by kilo. Next, we bring kilo by kilo to the center. 100 multiplied by kilogram by kilo is equal to 100 kilogram by the value of kilo, which is from the chart is 10 to the power 3. That gives us 100 kilograms by 1000, and after cancellation we get 1 by 10 kilograms. That gives us 0.1 kg. Our answer here is 0.1 kilograms. For the next example, let's use a more familiar way of solving conversion. 2 kilometer into centimeters. From our previous knowledge, we know that 1 kilometer has 1000 meters. So we have 2000 meters. And we also know that 1 meter has 100 centimeters. So we replace meter with 100 centimeter in our expression. We multiply the two numbers and we get 200,000 centimeter as our answer. To practice, pause the video now and solve the following questions. Let's move to our next objective, that is solving simple equations. Our first equation is 2 by 3x equals 16. We need to find the value of x, so we need to make x as a subject. For that, we need to leave x alone on the left side. We shall multiply 2 by 3 with the reciprocal fraction. A reciprocal fraction is an inverted fraction. After cancellation, x is left on the left side, and on the right side, after cancellation, we have 8 multiplied by 3. The value of x comes out to be 24. For our next question, we have 3 plus 2x equals 5. To leave x as a subject, we need to remove 3 from the left side first. Subtracting both sides with 3, we are left with 2x equals 2. We now multiply 2 with its reciprocal, that is 1 by 2. After cancellation, we are left with x is equal to 1. Pause the video now and solve the following questions. With this, we reach the final objective of our lesson. Thank you for watching.